Before we dive into this political drama that's juicier than elite group chat, I need your help. Right now, I have fewer subscribers than my mom's WhatsApp group. True story. Even my dog unsubscribed when I forgot to walk him. But here's the deal. I'm on a mission to hit my first 100 subscribers so I can finally prove to YouTube that I'm not just talking to myself. And trust me, once we hit that triple-digit magic, I promise to stop refreshing the page every 6 minutes like it's Bitcoin prices. So if you enjoy bold takes, unfiltered commentary, and occasional nervous sarcasm wrapped in real talk, go ahead. Smash that subscribe button like you're slapping a political lie off your screen. It's free, it's painless, and it brings me one step closer to convincing my friends I have a real channel now. All right, let's get into it. What happens when a political figure says what everyone else is afraid to say? When loyalty isn't just tested, but defined. When a man doesn't raise his voice, but speaks the kind of truth that makes the room go silent. This isn't a soundbite. This is a reckoning. A moment that may very well redefine the future of American conservatism. If you believe integrity matters more than applause, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with us. Because what you're about to witness is bigger than politics. It's about truth, courage, and the cost of standing your ground. CPAC 2025. The room was filled with press, donors, influencers, and the usual flood of talking points and applause lines. But this time, it wouldn't be predictable. Because on that stage stood two men with history. Mike Pence, former vice president, once seen as the embodiment of discipline, faith, and conservative values, and JD Vance, current vice president, a rising voice in the GOP. Blunt, loyal, unflinching. But this wasn't a reunion. This was a confrontation. It began during what was supposed to be a routine Q&A session. A reporter from Patriot Press stood up and asked a question with fire beneath it. Mr. Pence, do you believe JD Vance's loyalty to Trump is courage or compliance? Pence didn't flinch. He offered that signature political smile, rehearsed, polished, hollow, and with calm delivery said, JD is a brilliant guy, but lately he's been acting more like Trump's puppet than a leader in his own right. A wave of laughter, a few claps, but all eyes turned to Vance. This was his moment, and he didn't waste it. JD Vance didn't explode. He didn't get loud. He simply looked Pence in the eyes and said, "You call me a puppet for being loyal to Trump. What do you call yourself for abandoning those who trusted you?" And just like that, the laughter stopped. The silence that followed was louder than anything said on stage. Because in that one line, Vance didn't just respond, he revealed. This wasn't about Trump. This wasn't about political lanes. This was about betrayal, choices, character. Pence didn't just face a question, he faced a mirror. Because while the country burned, while Americans begged for accountability, Mike Pence chose silence. He chose diplomacy over clarity, legacy over truth, and JD Vance knew it. Then, without warning, Vance reached into his suit pocket and pulled out printed papers, declassified emails, verified communications between Pence's office and Democrat-aligned organizations, dated just days after January 6th. Emails that didn't reveal illegality, but strategy, political positioning, image repair. While ordinary Americans were trying to understand what just happened to their country. He held them up and said, "This isn't betrayal, Mike. It's transparency. You think loyalty is weakness, but smiling while you lie to the people, that's the real shame." Gasps echoed through the room. Some people looked down, others leaned forward, because something had shifted, and no one could pretend they didn't feel it. And then, from the back of the room, came a ripple of movement. Donald Trump walked in. No announcement, no lights, no entrance music, just presence. He stepped on stage. He didn't grandstand. He didn't attack. He just turned to Vance and said, "You did what needed to be done. I'm proud of you." And that was all. Pence, standing only feet away, had no answer. He looked at the ground, then turned and walked off the stage. No press following, no applause, just footsteps fading into irrelevance. Vance didn't celebrate. He didn't wave to the crowd. He didn't smile. He stood still. Because people who speak with integrity don't need to pose like victors. They already won. Later that night, Vance received thousands of messages. Some praised him, others warned him. But one stood out. A father from Kentucky wrote, "My 13-year-old son watched that clip and said, 'That man didn't yell. He didn't joke. He just stood there and told the truth. I want to be like that someday.'" That's what matters. Not headlines. Not polls. Legacy isn't built in applause. It's built in the moments no one claps for. This wasn't about revenge. It wasn't about Trump. It wasn't even about Pence. It was about truth. The kind of truth that doesn't need a microphone to be heard. The kind of truth that still makes people uncomfortable, even when spoken softly. Because people are tired. Tired of politics as performance. Tired of being told what to believe. Tired of seeing leaders play both sides and call it strategy. They want someone, anyone, who actually means what they say, who will take a stand not when it's convenient, but when it costs the most. That's what JD Vance did. Whether you agree with his politics or not, you can't deny it. He didn't duck. He didn't spin. He didn't retreat. He spoke. And he stood. And in doing so, he reminded us of something we've all been craving, that somewhere in this broken system, there's still a place for courage. Still a space for leaders who choose principle over popularity. So what now? Now we ask the real questions, not who will win the next election, but who deserves to lead. Not who has the best ads, but who tells the truth when the camera isn't rolling. Because in the end, this isn't about a party. It's about a principle, one we've lost, and one we're starting to find again, in the most unexpected places. If you believe leadership should come from character, not convenience, if you think truth should still matter in American politics, then don't just scroll. Share this, speak out, and subscribe, because this conversation isn't over. It's only just begun.